So there was this thing that transpired where the Magic School Bus reboot came out and the collective reaction was, huh? Why do the characters look like that? Why do they look so different? Who made this happen? Now granted, this happened 3 years ago. It's all old news and the show is already over. But I wasn't aware of any of it until now, and I have some thoughts. The easy rebuttal is, well, that isn't Mrs. Frizzle, that's her sister. I mean, sure, that explains why she looks like that, but that doesn't explain this, and it doesn't excuse the fact that she looks like generic woman number 5. Like, come on, where's the pizzazz, the zaniness, the quirkiness if you must? The other rebuttal is, why should we even care? This thing was marketed for kids. We're adults. It's not like we're going to watch it. And yes, that is true. I don't plan to watch the new Magic School Bus. I haven't even seen the original one for over a decade now. However, as someone who works in the animation industry, I think I'm allowed to be annoyed at the state of popular character design in the current animation world, which is to say they're mostly generic, indistinct, and created to be marketable and easy to look at. I mean, this is a criticism that anyone should be allowed to have. But that's a video for a different day. In this video, I want to talk about why the Magic School Bus characters look like this. Why does it look like a completely different IP? Why do the characters look like something out of one of those episode games we keep seeing ads of? Why? And here's the thing. I don't have a concrete answer. I didn't work for this show, and I don't have any insider information as to why the characters are designed like this. If I had to guess, I would just say they probably just thought this would be more pleasing for kids to look at. Smooth, round, gigantic eyes. I mean, they're kids. They're not going to take to Twitter and complain about it. But I feel like we shouldn't underestimate kids, or just feed them the lowest common denominator of animation. Kids deserve animation that looks, unique and stylish too. They don't all need to look like this. One might assume, oh, maybe they just changed the character designs to better fit the new animation style. You see, back in the old days, the Magic School Bus was traditionally animated, meaning it was drawn frame by frame. Nowadays, most animated shows are done as puppet animation, and that includes the Magic School Bus. Aha, you might think, there's the culprit. It looks ugly because it's puppet animation. Wrong. There's an unfortunate conception that puppet animation, or flash animation as it might be better known, is all serviceable but ultimately stiff and lifeless, lacking the complexity and soul of traditional animation. But that just isn't true. I mean this in the nicest way possible, but most non-animators simply don't understand how puppet animation works. Heck, even I didn't know how it worked until I actually sat down on the first day of work, and I went to 4 years of animation school. When people hear the words puppet animation, they're picturing a real puppet, a marionette, dolls strung up on strings. They can move around, sometimes convincingly lifelike if you're good enough at it, but they'll always be constrained by the fact that they're puppets. Their limbs and body parts have fixed proportions and pivot points. They're not as versatile as a drawing can be. And maybe that's true for a real puppet, but digital puppets are a whole different matter. When you think of digital puppet shows, you probably weren't thinking of Hilda, or Tango the series, or Carmen Sandiego, or Academy Award-winning Hair Love. Yes, these were all puppet animation, and they prove that puppet animation has the capacity to look just as good as traditional animation. All of this is to say, the translation from traditional animation to puppet animation shouldn't have caused such a discrepancy in the design. If you want a better example of this, compare Legend of the Three Caballeros to the original 1944 film. Can you really tell the difference between the two different forms of animation? Does the new puppet animated version somehow look worse than the original hand-drawn one? In the end, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes of the Magic School Bus. But what I can say is, I doubt it's a technical issue. I doubt puppet animation is to blame. It was a deliberate choice, and it was a questionable one at that. I don't want to get too harsh about this. I don't want people to think that I'm slinging hate at people who could be my colleagues. But I think I'm allowed to express my disappointment or annoyance at the strange artistic choices that are being made across too many pieces of popular media. The fact that character design seems to be getting simplified down to the safest and most marketable form. I understand the name of the game is profit, but that shouldn't come at the cost of good art.